Once upon a time, in a small village in India, there lived a young boy named Anil. Anil was known for his timid and fearful nature. He was always afraid of trying new things and facing challenges. He feared failure and rejection, and as a result, he never dared to dream big. One day, Anil heard about the teachings of Gautam Buddha, a great spiritual teacher known for his wisdom and compassion. Anil was intrigued by Buddha's teachings, and he decided to seek him out to learn more about how to overcome his fears. When Anil finally met Buddha, he asked him, "Master, how can I overcome my fears and become brave?" Buddha replied, "Fear is nothing but a state of mind. It is a product of your imagination, and it can be conquered with the right mindset and practice." Buddha then told Anil a story to help him understand how to overcome his fears. He said, "Once, there was a young man who lived in a village. He was very fearful and always stayed within the confines of his comfort zone. One day, he decided to seek the advice of a wise man who lived on a mountaintop. The wise man told the young man to climb up the mountain and bring him a stone from the peak. The young man was scared, but he decided to take up the challenge. As he climbed, he encountered many obstacles, including steep cliffs and dangerous animals. He was tempted to turn back, but he kept reminding himself of the wise man's challenge. Finally, after much struggle, he reached the mountaintop and found the stone he was looking for. He returned to the wise man, and the wise man asked him, "What did you learn from this experience?" The young man replied, "I learned that I am capable of achieving anything I set my mind to, as long as I face my fears and keep moving forward." Buddha then said to Anil, "Just like the young man in the story, you too can overcome your fears and achieve your goals if you have the right mindset and practice facing your fears. Start by taking small steps towards your fears and gradually increasing the level of difficulty. Remember, the only thing that stands between you and your dreams is your fear. Overcome it, and the sky's the limit." Anil was inspired by Buddha's words and decided to follow his advice. He started facing his fears one at a time and gradually built up his confidence. He began to take risks and try new things, and soon enough, he discovered that he was capable of achieving anything he set his mind to. Anil continued to work on his fears, one at a time. He started small by doing things that made him slightly uncomfortable, such as speaking up in class or trying a new type of food. As he became more comfortable with these small steps, he gradually increased the level of difficulty, taking on bigger challenges like public speaking and skydiving. At times, Anil still felt afraid, but he had learned to face his fears and push through them. He had also learned that failure was not the end of the world, and that it was okay to make mistakes and learn from them. As Anil's confidence grew, he began to notice positive changes in his life. He felt happier, more fulfilled, and more in control of his destiny. He was no longer held back by his fears, but rather empowered by his ability to overcome them. Anil's transformation inspired others around him, and he became known as a fearless and courageous person. He even started teaching others how to overcome their own fears, using the lessons he had learned from Gautam Buddha. In the end, Anil realized that the journey to becoming brave was not about eradicating fear completely, but rather about learning to manage it and not letting it control his life. He had learned that fear was a natural part of life, but it was also a great motivator that could propel him towards success. As he looked back on his journey, Anil was grateful for the lessons he had learned from Gautam Buddha and for the courage he had found within himself. He knew that he could face any challenge that came his way and that he was capable of achieving anything he set his mind to. Years passed, and Anil continued to live a life full of bravery and confidence. He faced many challenges and obstacles, but he never let his fears hold him back. Instead, he used them as fuel to push himself further and achieve even greater things. One day, Anil received a letter from a young boy who had heard about his story of overcoming fear. The boy wrote that he was struggling with his own fears and he didn't know how to overcome them. Anil was touched by the boy's words and he decided to share his story with him. He wrote back, telling the boy about his own journey and how he had learned to overcome his fears. He encouraged the boy to start small by doing things that made him slightly uncomfortable and gradually building up his confidence. He told him that it was okay to make mistakes and that failure was not the end of the world. The boy took Anil's advice to heart and started working on his own fears. He faced them one by one, just like Anil had done, and with each challenge he conquered, he felt more and more confident. Years later, the boy grew up to be a successful entrepreneur, and he credited Anil with helping him overcome his fears and achieve his dreams. He wrote to Anil, thanking him for his guidance and mentorship. Anil was proud of the boy and happy that he had been able to help him in some small way. He knew that his journey to becoming brave had not only changed his own life, but had also touched the lives of others. As Anil sat down to meditate that day, he thought about the teachings of Gautam Buddha and the lessons he had learned about overcoming fear. He knew that his journey was not over yet, and that there would always be new challenges to face. But he was ready to take them on, one step at a time with courage and determination. The journey to becoming brave and overcoming fear is a long and challenging one, but with the right mindset, practice, and guidance, it is possible to conquer even the most daunting of fears. Just like Anil, we can all learn to manage our fears and use them as motivation to achieve our dreams. As Gautam Buddha said, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. So let us think brave thoughts and become the courageous and confident people we were meant to be. The morale of this story is that it is possible to overcome fear and become brave. Fear is a natural part of life, but it doesn't have to hold us back. By facing our fears and taking small steps towards our goals, we can build up our confidence and become the courageous and confident people we were meant to be. It is also important to remember that failure is not the end of the world and that it is okay to make mistakes. By learning from our failures and mistakes, we can grow and become even stronger. Lastly, this story teaches us that our own journey to becoming brave can inspire and help others, and that we should always be willing to share our knowledge and experiences with those who need it. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. Fear can hold you prisoner. Hope can set you free. The key to change is to let go of fear. Don't let your fear paralyze you. Instead, use it to fuel your motivation to succeed. Fear is a choice. You can either be paralyzed by it or use it to fuel your growth. Fear is an opportunity for courage. Do not let your fears choose your destiny. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Fear is a powerful enemy, but courage is a powerful ally. To conquer fear, you must become fearless. Fear is not real. It is a product of thoughts you create. Be brave. Take risks. Nothing can substitute experience. Fear is a liar. It tells you that you can't do something, but the truth is that you can. The only thing we have to fear is the thought that something is impossible. Fear is the enemy of success. You must face it head on and conquer it to achieve greatness. Fear is a reaction. Courage is a choice. The more you do things you fear, the more fearless you become. Fear is the thief of dreams. Don't let it rob you of your potential. If you are not willing to risk the unusual, you will have to settle for the ordinary. The only limits you have are the limits you believe. The greatest mistake you can make in life is to be continually fearing you will make one. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Your fear is a signal that you're doing something new and important. Embrace it. Fear is a choice. You choose to be afraid or you choose to be brave. The only way to do something you're afraid of is to do it. You are not your fears. You are your courage. Fear is the enemy of progress. Don't let it hold you back. If you want to conquer fear, don't sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Believe you can and you're halfway there. If you want to change your life, you have to conquer your fears. The best way to gain self-confidence is to do what you are afraid to do. Success is not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up. Fear is just a thought. It doesn't control you. You control it. The more you face your fears, the less intimidating they become. The greatest barrier to success is the fear of failure.